Hi everyone, welcome to the first video version of Thrown Togetherness. I just wanted to convert some of my most popular blog posts into video clips because I've noticed a lot of my YouTube videos have ended up being real points of connection between me and other scholars, especially younger scholars around the world. So one of the most popular posts that I have written on Thrown Togetherness is writing for research, and particularly the first one in that series, which was writing as a learned skill. And I start with the quote from Anne Lamott that says, "Almost all good writing begins with terrible first efforts," because you need to start somewhere, right? And when I teach on writing, I gather some of my ideas together and I've summed them up as follows. Writing is a learned skill. Can get better at it. Writing is an iterative process, very repetitive. Academic writing is primarily about constructing and communicating an argument. And finally, there are really well-established ways to edit our writing for both clarity and coherence. So that first point, writing is a learned skill. If you do a quick search of internet memes around writing, almost all of them will highlight the hard work that goes into writing well. Mark Twain apparently said, "Writing is easy. All you have to do is cross out the wrong words," which of course makes it not too easy. Ernest Hemingway more evocatively described writing as follows: "There is nothing to writing at all. All you do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed." Writing is hard. E.B. White says, "A writer who waits for the ideal conditions under which to work will die without putting a word on paper." And Margaret Atwood said, "If I waited for perfection, I would never write a word." Thomas Mann says, "A writer is someone for whom writing is more difficult than it is for other people." And as I said, Anne Lamott says, "Almost all good writing begins with terrible first efforts." Quite a few accomplished writers have noted that not only is writing hard, but it takes a lot of practice. Doris Lessing, the novelist, said, "You can only learn to be a better writer by actually writing." Thomas Edison apparently said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration," which I think is something that applies to writing as well. When asked, "How do you write?" Stephen King answered, "One word at a time." And then finally, Erasmus said, "The desire to write grows with writing." So when you hear those different memes or different quotes about writing, what feelings do you experience? The fact that these are shared and readily available on the internet is probably evidence that many people see writing as a learned skill and have experienced improvement. So the point for me is that when you read a beautiful piece of writing or a clear and coherent academic article or report, you might be tempted to think, well, I'm just not that gifted at writing. But in my experience, it's been that people who've found writing difficult often actually make the best writers. They go out of their way to learn new techniques of communication and they agonize over the words, trying to get them expressed in a way that the rest of us might not. I've learned a lot about writing through my work in the Community Economies Collective. Jenny Cameron has taught us a lot about writing there. And she told me previously that for her, writing is like squeezing blood from a stone. Every word and every sentence is drawn out and thought through. But her academic writing is probably the clearest and most coherent I've come across. She's gone out of her way to learn and teach good academic writing, and it shows. So my point is, take heart. You can learn to be a good writer with a bit of practice and some guidance, and see my other posts on the blog for more tips on writing.